Hey guys, so we're going to try this a third time, and first of all, I do apologize if I get a little tongue-tied or ramblish. I do have to get ready for work in a little while. I have to be out of here within a little over an hour. But anyway, I wanted to come on here, give you a bit of a spring break channel update, because as you know, we are in the first week of spring, which started officially this past Monday. And basically, what that means is, if you're, a student at school, either high school, middle school, grade school, college, you get at least about a week or two off from learning. You basically get a week or two off from learning, and you can do whatever you want, or go on vacation with your family because they've been planning for this since the beginning of the school year or last year, whatever. Now, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to that, as you know, my mom's a teacher, a Head Start teacher, preschool teacher. And because of the fact that she, works in that environment, as a teacher, with young kids, 3, 4 years old, 2 years old at the youngest, but mostly 3 and 4, she too is going to get a spring break. Her and her fellow teachers, are going to get a spring break. But what's interesting about the spring break is it actually is going to start a little early. Unofficially, but it is going to start a little early. And what I mean is this. Right here, as you can see, right here, this is when the official spring break begins. But right here is when it unofficially starts. And the reason it unofficially starts on the last day of the month is because of the fact that her school, like I'm assuming a lot of Head Start and preschools do, has to coincide with what the public schools do. So the public schools, basically, if they take certain days off, throughout the week, most times, a Head Start or preschool program will do the same thing. They'll coincide and say, okay, we'll take that same time off. And that's what's obviously going on here. Now, what that means is my mom's spring break actually extends from, the 3rd, and you add in the 31st, and then of course the weekends. And it's basically an extra day or so for her to relax and get her batteries charged up, do what she wants to do, stuff like that, get ready for Easter, Resurrection Sunday, Good Friday, if you will. Just get herself, into that, I guess you could say that, into that mood, into that motivation, if you will, of finally getting some things done while she's got the time off. Now, what's interesting though is, like I said, and like I showed you there, the spring break officially goes from the 3rd to the 7th. Now, of course, if you add in the weekends, Easter weekend, it's going to go a lot longer. Now, the reason I bring all this up is because you would think, okay, so that means your mom was going back to work on the 10th, right? That's the day after Easter. Not so fast, my friends, as Lee Corso would say. Not so fast, because you see, my mom, since we live here in Newman, she is one of the teachers, one of 2, I think, that lives the furthest outside of their job. There's another teacher that lives in Modesto and everything, and has to basically take the same path that my mom does to get to work, or at least the same, directional path on the freeway and the Altamont and all that. Now, the reason I bring this up is because, as I mentioned, my mom is more further out. We are basically the last town of Stanislaus County before you go into Gustine, which is part of Merced County, which, as you further go down that path, you start to head more into, the Fresno territory and, all that, in between, Fresno, Los Angeles, stuff like that. So, because we're like I said, the last town in Stanislaus County before you head to Merced and everything, which is Gustine, and just is the beginning of a directional path towards Fresno and Los Angeles and all that. Because of that, she basically decided that she's going to take the 10th off. So she informed her job weeks in advance that, hey, I'm not coming in on the 10th. I'm not coming in the day after Easter, Easter Monday, because I live too far out and I don't know how long I'm going to be out with my family for Easter because because like a lot of families, you don't know exactly, I'm sure families do already, but some families, like mine, don't know exactly where they're going to be spending Easter on that day, on the 9th. So knowing that we may be spending it in Modesto and coming home late from that, she doesn't want to take a chance being dead tired and going into work the next day. She wants to have an extra day to recharge. And the same goes even if we're in Patterson. She knows because it's a holiday, she doesn't want to take the chance that we might get home late and everything. We might get home late, and she wants to basically, not take the chance of being tired going into work the following day. So she's going to take this extra day off to, relax and, recharge her batteries. That's what she's going to do. And I don't think anybody can blame her. Because what I did is I put in for the 9th and the 10th off because, one, it's Easter, Resurrection Sunday, and two, it's the same thing with my mom when it comes to the day after. I don't know how late we're going to get in, so I don't want to be tired, going into work, working, dealing with customers and all that. So I requested those 2 days off just in case, well, not just in case, but to basically not take a chance, but also just in case, we get in late and all that, and we don't want to, both of us don't want to be dead tired going back into work the day after Easter. And I'm sure a lot of you can understand that. My mom basically, my mom's vacation, in a sense, is going to go, believe it or not, is going to go from the 31st, the 1st, the 2nd, which are weekends, so you can count them or not, but the 31st, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and then 10th. So she's going to have 11 days off. 11 days off, which is the equivalent, of a break. There's no doubt, of a vacation. It's definitely the equivalent of that in a huge way. But it's almost borderline, and I hate to say this, borderline almost close to, let's say, Christmas break time. Because she has the time, and if she wanted to, she could take the whole week after Easter off just to really recharge and everything before she went back, but she's not going to do that because they're short on teachers. So she's just going to take one extra day off because of the fact that, again, like another teacher, she lives further out. But the difference between her and the other teacher that she's friends with is that teacher lives in Modesto. My mom, like me, lives here in Newman. So it's a lot further drive for her. I mean, she had to leave around 6:55 this morning just to get to work. Now, normally she would leave 10 minutes before, but she likes to wait till the sun comes up a little bit before she goes because either it's daylight savings time or standard time. She does not like coming in the dark. And when she does have to go in the dark, she takes her time, much to some people's frustrations, but she's not going to deal with any, chances being taken, like any, going off the road and all that by accident or because drivers don't want to basically give a damn, if you will. But yeah, she has to leave early just to get to work and everything, probably earlier than her friend does. Now, how that kind of relates to my channel here and everything. First of all, I don't know what my work schedule is going to be on the week before Easter, Holy Week, if you will. I'm not sure how that's going to be. Come not next week, but the following week. I'm not sure how that's going to be. But I will say this, if the schedule is any bit like what's going to be next week, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. Because first of all, next week's schedule has me like this. It has me working Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Basically the middle of the week. That's what it has me doing. Because it has me off on Sunday, Monday, Friday, and Saturday. And what's interesting about that is this Sunday I was supposed to work. I was originally supposed to work, but that didn't work out for me. And the same goes for this upcoming Saturday. And the reason for that is, well, first of all, on Saturday, me and my mom are going to be going to H&R Block to take care of our taxes, like a lot of people are doing this time of year, depending on what tax service or software they use to file their taxes, whether it's H&R Block, TurboTax, TaxAct, you name it. They're going out there and doing their taxes, and my mom and I are going to be doing ours on Saturday. And the reason for this is because my mom, much to my surprise, even without my consent, scheduled both me and her to basically have that day to do our taxes on. She basically set up, the 25th between certain times in the early afternoon to get them done. And the reason I know this is because I was riding on the bus last week, and I get a text on my phone showing me these two appointments. And I'm thinking at first, did H&R Block get the wrong, number? And these are other people's appointments? That was the first thing that went through my mind. And then the second thing was, did H&R Block do these automatically? That was the second thing, because there are places that are known to do that. But then the third option, which ended up being the more likely option and obvious option, was, did my mom set these up? So I texted my mom. I forwarded her basically a screenshot. Well, I didn't forward her the screenshot, but I basically screenshotted the text I got with the appointments to her and asking her, did you set these up? And she called me back and she said, yeah. Fortunately, she was on break at the time when she called me, when I sent the text, and then she called me back. But she said, yeah. She said basically that the H&R representative, the H&R Block representative called up and told her about, that it's basically time to do taxes and everything, kind of reminding them, hey, it's tax season, and if you want to set up some appointments so you can get in before it gets too late. And my mom's like, sure. So she probably, knowing my mom, she probably tried to get some other times to probably set things up because she knows how my job is unpredictable. But obviously the only opening they had was the 25th, and she took it. So what that led me to do, what that led me to do is what I'm trying to say, and I do apologize, it is early, and I'm trying to do this before I get ready for work. But what that led me to do is I had to go on my app. And basically, we have an option on my work app that allows you to, put your schedule up for availability for others to take because you can't, because the hours aren't going to work out for you or you have other things planned. So I put my schedule up, right? I put my schedule up, basically, manage my shift and everything, put it up for availability, see if anybody will take it. And fortunately, thank God, somebody took it. They did, they took it. And then they took my other schedule too, because they had me set for work on Sunday. They had me set for work on Sunday, the day after, which is this Sunday, the 26th. But because of the fact that the bus, comes, because here's what's crazy about the bus, service now. It's like I mentioned before, on the weekdays, the earliest they start here, or they show up here in Newman, is 6:41. The earliest they show up on Saturday is 8:56, and the earliest on Sunday is 9:56. And the reason I had to give up my schedule on Sunday, put my schedule up for somebody else to take, was because I was supposed to go in at 10, and there's no way I would have made it. No way. And there's no way, in turn, would I be able to make it home if I had to make up, the extra hour or so. So what happened basically is like I said, I had to put my schedule up, had to give it up, see if somebody would take it, and somebody did. Now, I'm assuming people took my schedule, my schedule for Saturday and Sunday. I'm assuming they did. Or because of the fact that we're in that time of year where basically hours are cut back, they just said, you know what, this works out fine. We'll just, give them those days off because, one, it saves us money, cutting back on the hours. And here we have somebody saying, hey, I need to give up these hours because it's not going to work for me. And they probably like, yeah, we could just give them those days off, no big issue. And that's what they did. So I'm going to basically have, 4 days off in a row, upcoming. Tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That's what I'm going to have because then in the middle of next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I work. And then come Friday and Saturday of next week, I'll be off. I'm not too sure about the 2nd, which is the start of Holy Week and the start of my mom's spring break, officially. But I will be off on the day that she's off, basically a week from tomorrow. So yeah, basically my job is, like I said, going through that kind of a situation right now where basically, hours are being cut and all that, even with the managers, the team leaders. So what that means for me when it comes to my schedule is however they will, well, I'll find out by the end of tonight or today and tomorrow, but however they have me set up schedule-wise on Holy Week, I can really say this, however they have me set up, it's either going to be a blessing to where I'll be able to work, and everything, get some decent hours, hopefully that will happen. Or it's going to be structured like next week's because, like I said, they're cutting back on hours. Now, again, the reason I say it could be a blessing is because if I can work, basically, financially, that's good. But also, ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. Also, I could leave the house early, get to my job early, and have time to probably get some breakfast or something to eat. And then, if I still have enough time, do a video or do an audio video for my channel, or even do a live stream for my channel. Does provide you guys with some content on that week that my mom would be off. That way there's no interference. Now, of course, obviously, I'm going to probably have a day off during one of those days, that she's going to be off during spring break. Like I said, the day that it unofficially starts, which is the 31st, I'm going to be off as well. So, the way that's going to work, it will be really interesting. Because I may have to either resort to doing game footage, which isn't a problem, not a problem there, as well as resort to probably doing some AMVs, PMVs, fan vids, if you will, for content, instead of doing on-camera stuff or live streams because of depending like on the time and everything that I do it. Because if I do it, essentially, if I do try to do something like this, like right now, and let's say I want to walk around, do all this and everything, my mom could be sitting right here going like, what are you doing? Right? And she doesn't like being on camera that much. So, but she'd be like, what are you doing? So that would be a problem. That would be a problem there. So how do I work around that? Well, one, I stay in my room, of course. If I'm off the day she's here doing her spring break, and I either wait till she falls asleep at night, really late at night, to do something, or I wake up on the day I'm off early, before she does, and try to do something. And that's pretty much how it's going to work out. Again, if I work that week, which I'm definitely going to be doing, because that's the week before Easter, there is no doubt in my mind that, working that week, I'm going to get some hours, maybe not as much, but I will be working more days, hopefully. Maybe have 4.5 hours, something like that. But I'll be working more days. And, again, what that benefits for me is I can leave the house early and go do some videos when I'm waiting to clock back in. That's the benefit. That is the benefit right there. On the other hand, like I said, if I'm off during that time as well, and I'm not counting just, the weekends or, Resurrection, Easter Sunday or whatever, but if I'm off, let's say on a Wednesday during her spring break, and I want to do something, I have to work around that. And that may result, like I said, in getting up early, doing a video like this in my room, or doing some game footage or PMVs, fan vids, whatever, just to, provide some content. So knowing my track record, I'll probably find a way around that and be able to make it happen. Probably be able to make it happen, more so than I think anybody would anticipate me to do. Or anybody in my position would be able to do, period. But yeah, basically spring break, like I said, it's upcoming. It actually starts unofficially a week from tomorrow, with my mom. And again, that's depending on how my work schedule is. I'll find out, later today after work or tomorrow. Depending on how that is, it's going to be really interesting. I will say that. It's going to be really interesting, going forward and everything for this next week or so, because it's going to be 11 days, guys. And that's nothing. That's nothing, all right? That's 3 days short. I will say this, that's 3 days short of 2 weeks. But it's nothing to really sneeze about or fret about. It's just that it's going to be really, really interesting how you work around that and everything. I will say this. I don't know what's going to happen on the 16th, whether I work that day or not. But I can say this. That, if I don't work on the 16th, you're going to see me definitely doing some stuff a lot on that day too. Mainly because of the fact that my niece-in-law, my future niece-in-law, is going to have a bridal shower. And basically, my mom's going to that. And she'll be gone all day, most of the day. So that helps out in the long run too. But again, we'll have to see what that day, brings for us in the next couple of weeks. But the reason I'm doing this video, like I said, this channel update, is to let you know what's in store for the weeks to come, going into, spring break and everything, and starting not just tomorrow or this weekend and all that, but starting a week from tomorrow as well, and kind of give you guys an idea of the opportunities I will have on my own to be able to do stuff like videos and live streams without interruption, and also to let you know how I'm going to probably have to work around that work schedule depending, and like work schedule depending and all that, the week that my mom will be off and everything, and even the extra day that she'll have off, like I will hopefully, which would be the 10th. So anyway, I just wanted to come on here, give you guys a bit of a spring break channel update, let you know what's coming. I do apologize if it sounded like I was rambling or being tongue-tied a little bit. It's still early. I'm still waking up, drinking my coffee and everything. Got to get myself ready in just a little bit to get in the shower and, head off to work within the hour. I have to leave within the hour anyway to catch my bus. But I just wanted to do this video, let you know what's happening. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you've been in a similar situation. Love to hear from each and every one of you on that. And until next time, I will talk to you all later. Peace out. God bless.